Yeah, this is the view that we had last week. Nifty 18,400 330 will be a strong support. As long as the market sustains above 330, most likely 8,500 will be taken out, will be broken, and we will touch all-time high. I think Nifty made a all-time high, and Bank Nifty made a all-time high. Nifty was just below the all-time high. Any intraday dips to 18,400 is a buying opportunity. This is the stand we had last time or last week. I think market broke 500. I think we were very close to all-time high, maybe 100 points away. Bank Nifty, most likely a gap up. 43,500 is the support area, and as long as market sustains above 43,500, higher chances of market making a new high. I think these views came right. And last time we were slightly bullish on these stocks. Let me quickly take a look at what happened. IT Pack is where we were focusing. IT Pack, like TCS, or we were not looking at TCS particularly, but overall IT Pack. IT Pack in the last 4, 5, 6 days has been flat. TCS, I'm sorry. Infi went up and okay, we are at struggling around 45. Mindtree is also down. I think IT Pack did not work last week for us. HCL Technologies. HCL was up. Naukri, this is InfoEdge. This went up. This was our most favorite, Naukri. Nestle and couple of other stocks like the Nestle India. This is up. We were discussing about buying or going long above this trend line. I think that is true. Marico HUL, I think we were watching very closely on the what do you call this, FMCG. So Marico is up. What are the stocks we had? Especially FMCG, Dabur, Reliance, National Aluminium. So we were slightly bullish on. Yes, this has worked out. Last 5 days, Dabur has been up. National Aluminium is also one stock where we were slightly bullish on. We were watching this very closely because it was on the verge of a breakout. We were discussing about breakout above this line that we spoke about. I think it is yet to break out. I think most likely it's going to break out maybe this week or next week. We are not sure. For a reason why I'm saying this could be a breakout based on a technical understanding is this. See, it went up on last Friday. After that, we have seen a small correction, but entire correction is almost staying above 50% of this big green candle. So usually these big green candles act as a support themselves. So like this, there is a big green candle. So this candle itself will act as support. See this here, went up, came down, took support there. Big green candles usually act as support. They usually sustain the trend because big green candles and big red candles are because of big buying or big selling. Whenever a big buying, big selling happens, usually the market stays in that direction, most often than not. And now if you see this big green candle, 50% of that is acting as support. Worst case, we might have this 80 as a support area. So as long as National Aluminium stays above 80, we should be bullish about that. So I'm going to carry this for the next week also. Reliance Industries, the setup still looks bullish. The reason why I'm saying bullish is because we still have higher highs and higher lows. So 2 days up and then 3 days down. The entire market is basically struggling around in the last couple of days, maybe the entire correction because the overall breadth turning negative. Why I say the breadth turning negative is, let me look at the breadth, how to analyze the breadth. See, Nifty is not tradable in the cash market. It's only traded in futures or options. But again, if Nifty has to go up, Nifty cannot go up just because somebody is buying in futures or options. Nifty can only go up because somebody is buying the stocks which are part of Nifty. So without stocks that are part of Nifty going up, Nifty cannot go up. So if I'm expecting Nifty to go up, then I'm looking at the components. This is what we call as something called as breadth analysis. We're going to look at how many stocks are contributing for the Nifty to go up. Let me quickly take a look at something called as index meter. This one tells me number of stocks contributing for the Nifty overall market as such. Right? Look at this. This tells me that the one which is blue or over whatever color you call it. This tells me the number of stocks which are bullish, and the red tells me number of stocks which are bearish. So now if you see, as on last Friday, or May 30th or May 31st, number of stocks which are bullish were 36, and number of stocks which are bearish were actually 14. And now in the last couple of days, it's actually gone up. Basically, the breadth still looks pretty bullish because 41 stocks contributing to the bullishness of Nifty and only about 9 stocks contributing to bearishness of Nifty. So basically, the overall strength is still looking basically bullish. And look at the second row. You see 21-day high, 16 stocks, and 21-day low, 0 stocks as on yesterday, which tells me that 16 stocks have made a 21-day high. See, if Nifty has to make a new high, we need stocks to make a new high. So how many stocks made a new high are 16, and how many stocks made a new low are 0. So basically, the breadth is still in favor of a bullishness. So the stocks which are contributing to bullishness are how many? See, the one in red here, Coal India, is bearish. GAIL, bearish. HDFC Bank is bearish. HDFC is bearish. Infosys is bearish. ONGC is bearish. UPL and ZEAL are bearish. Rest of all the stocks are contributing to the upside of the market. So overall strength seems to be quite bullish. Breadth doesn't create any issues. We are still good on the breadth side. On Nifty, if I look at Bank Nifty, there were about 10 stocks which are bullish and only one stock which was bearish as on 29th of May. But now if you take a look at, I think the number has come down a little bit. 10 has become 9 and 1 has become 2. Basically, some bearishness or rather one stock got into bearish side and one stock from bullishness actually the number has probably dropped. Which one is that? HDFC Bank. This is in red. That means HDFC Bank is not contributing to Bank Nifty at all. And that holds a very huge weightage on Bank Nifty. Right? So if you look at HDFC Bank, this isn't contributing. See this? This is actually falling. This explains the weakness in Bank Nifty. Why it could not sustain above 44,000. Because Bank Nifty is basically predominantly dominated by HDFC Bank, which is not contributing. So basically it is stuck sideways. Others are contributing, but SBI and other banks are contributing, but it doesn't hold. HDFC alone is pulling the Bank Nifty down. So overall breadth of the market on the Nifty looks stronger, but Bank Nifty, HDFC Bank is not contributing. If you look at the entire F&O pack, how does it look? Because F&O contributes to major, contribution to Indian equity market, right? So F&O, if you see, I think the breadth is still good, not a problem. About 111 stocks bullish, 18 stocks bearish, 46 stocks making new high or 21-day high, and only one stock making 21-day low, which is still looking bullish to me. The stocks which are bearish are basically highlighted in red. Basically here, Cadila, bearish, Coal India. So basically pharma, some banks, GMR Infra, HDFC Twins, IGL again part of oil and gas, Jindal Steel, metal sector, Manappuram Finance, some mid-cap stock, Motherson Sumi, ONGC and Page. So basically ONGC we got, IGL we got, Coal India we got, something is happening in the power sector or rather oil and gas. Petronet LNG again, like LNG is again part of that oil and gas counter. Tata Chemicals. See, Tata Chemicals, UPL is also chemicals. So basically, what is not contributing is HDFC Twins, couple of metal stocks, one or two metal stocks, and predominantly the oil and gas sector, power sector, coal and oil and gas. Basically, that is not contributing to F&O counter. Rest all more or less contributing. This tells me that okay, more or less one or couple of sectors are not contributing, but most of the sectors are still good, right? So having said this, breadth looks okay, not alarmingly bad. So what should we expecting this week? Let's quickly take a look at what is happening in the international markets. Dow Jones is absolutely bullish. Look at the way the market went up yesterday. So look at this. From here, the fall was to 31,400 something. Second time, the same resistance. This time, the push is only towards 32,600. That means I am seeing a, which is a low, which is higher than the previous low. I see a higher low in Dow Jones. So Dow Jones is not going down any further. So it is giving me slightly bullish implications in terms of daily chart. Weekly looks good too. The reason why I say weekly looks good because weekly is also showing me a higher low. Plus, we are finding support at this long-term moving average. And RSI is also finding support at this moving average. So basically, the momentum and the moving averages, the higher low price action is also pointing to strength in Dow Jones. Now, when we expect a big up move is only and only if we are able to manage to break this 34,200 levels. Unless until we break that, it will take quite an amount of time because we are unable to cross that level for quite a long time, since almost a year now. So that will be a very strong resistance. It might take 1 or 2 weeks or maybe a month or two to break this. But the price action, look at last week candle. Look at the candle alone. So there are long lower wicks. That means there was some sell-off to this level, but some buyer came in and bought back. Again, this week also, there was some sell-off, but buyer came and bought back. And this week's closing, this week's So this week's closing is above last 3 weeks closing price. Look at this. The closing of this week is above last week high, the previous week's high, and the probably 3 weeks back high also, more or less. So the closing is very, very strong in terms of weekly on Dow Jones. So international markets are on a stronger note. Quickly take a look at S&P. It's a broader index in the US. S&P has actually managed to stay up. It has broken the high of last couple of months. Look at that. So this one was the high or resistance area, right? We are unable to manage to break this for a couple of months for the entire last 5-6 months. But this week, we are able to break and close above that, which is a very strong sign. Pretty strong sign on weekly charts of S&P as of now. So S&P or international markets are looking pretty decent. DAX looks good and we're at all-time high. No weakness, no bad closing for this week. France.
So you're looking at monthly chart.
This is a monthly. Still looks good to me. Look at the sell-off to the lower level and sharp bounce from there. That means we are still looking good. And look at the last 6-7 weeks low. It is still here. So as long as 15,800 is protected, I think DAX is still looking good. So basically, more or less, the stocks or international markets looking good. Now we have to worry about Indian markets, right? So international markets will not contribute to any weakness in Indian markets. So now what is the Indian markets story? Look at Nifty. We'll start from weekly because you're looking at a weekly view. What does weekly tell me? We are at all-time high, more or less. But what do we see? This week, we saw markets almost touching all-time high. From there was a sell-off. Weeklies, this is not a very bearish candle. This is a neutral candle. So neutral candle is expected when we are at all-time high because it's not going to break in one go. It will struggle, maybe 1 or 2 weeks it will struggle and then consult and then give a breakout. So more or less, weekly is at all-time high. It's a sideways or indecisive candle that tells me that maybe some weakness is, some indecisiveness is in. That means they're not able to decide which way we have to go. Neither bulls are taking control nor bears are taking control. Because if bulls are in control, we see a good big green candle. If bears are in control, we see a good red candle. This small candle doesn't speak about anybody in charge. So neither bulls or nor bears are in charge in this market right now. That means we can play both the ways. This is a story on a weekly chart. What about a daily chart? Daily chart still looks good to me on the upside. Because if you see this, higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows are comfortably seen. So the daily chart still looks good to me. Weekly is indecisive. That means no clear direction. Obviously expected because we are at all-time high. This is a small orange line. As long as the price stays above this orange line, we are still good. So orange line will be taken out only and only if we go below 18,400 levels. So as long as the market, so last week, the same thing we had, as long as 18,400 is protected, we might see 18,500 taken out. This was our last week conclusion. I think that 400 is still a good support. Why it is a good support? Because see, there was a couple of attempts to break 18,400. There were failures. Now we have managed to break 18,400 by the virtue of change of polarity. What was resistance earlier should start becoming support in this breakout. That means 18,400 will be a support area for us. So we will not be obviously changing our opinion on the bullishness as long as 18,400 is intact on Nifty. Lower time frames doesn't look great. That is the problem. But doesn't look very, very bad either. So this red line that I have drawn is on 18,400 levels, 450 to 400 levels. So as long as 18,400 is still on, no need to change an opinion. So right now the market is between 450, 400 levels to 18,600 levels. Because there are a couple of attempts to break 18,600, but all were a failure. So basically right now, I have to play slightly sideways. I have to play slightly sideways to the market right now. Bullish to sideways is what I would prefer. Because daily and weekly are in favor of up move. Short term, there might be some weakness. I am not denying it. There is some weakness. We'll play sideways game. Once 600, 18,600 is broken, then we will start turning out bullish, right? So this is the verdict I see on the charts. On Nifty, 18,400 is still a strong support. And as long as market sustains above 18,400, bullish view stays. And then between 18,450 to 18,600, play sideways. Right? And we have to change our opinion to bullish, absolutely bullish, above 18,600 only. Bearish, below 18,400. So 18,400 to 18,600, let's look at sideways. Only beyond this range, we will make some conclusions. Why see, whenever I say bullishness could be short term, long term, medium term. So there are so many, what do you call, degrees of bullishness. Right now, what I'm saying is bullishness is a medium term bullishness is still on, because daily is still bullish. So daily means medium term. Weekly or monthly means long term. Short term is basically hourly and below. So hourly and below is slightly negative, but we don't have to worry about that negative or sideways view as long as 18,400 stays intact in the market. So now we look at Bank Nifty. What's happening in Bank Nifty? So for intraday calls, we look at daily market review. But what I'm looking at is the weekly call. So weekly call matters to us when you're looking at a long-term picture. What is Bank Nifty doing on a higher time frames? That is what important first. Weekly chart. What's weekly telling us? Why is this not changing? Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty daily doesn't look good. Sorry, hourly doesn't look good, but I want to look at daily chart. Daily chart. Something is wrong with this. Okay. So daily chart. See what is happening in the daily chart. You have to understand this. How long we have to hold on to the bullish view. Look at this area. What is happening here is every time market came to this level, bounce. On this day also, it came to the 43,500 level, bounced. Again, it came to 43,500, bounced. So basically what is happening here is there were a couple of attempts to break 43,500. Not one, two, three. So 3 attempts were made to break 43,500 levels. Like this. 43,500, bounce. 43,500, bounce. 43,500, bounce. So what I'm saying is, as long as this 43,500 stays intact, we don't have to worry about trend changing for the medium term. So medium term trend, that means the trend on the daily chart is still intact as long as 43,500 is protected on Bank Nifty. Only and only 43,500 is compromised, we have to worry, right? So 43,500 remains the key. But what is happening in lower time frames? Let's understand that. Daily 43,500 remains the key. Hourly chart, what is the problem? The problem with hourly chart is this. See, there was a tiny double top. We broke down. This became a support. That support was broken. So now every rally towards the same support area, which is 44,200, is being sold. Now one more rally happened. if you clearly are observe, this was a first high. Market came down. Again, buyers bought. This time they are not able to touch this point. They are giving a lower high. Again, market came down. Again, a rally. But this time the buyers are not able to even touch the previous high levels. That means we are clearly seeing lower highs in an hourly chart. That means for a short term, Nifty Bank still looks slightly weaker. Short term, very short term, maybe 1 day, 2 day, we do not know. Right? On a very short term basis, Bank Nifty is still looking weaker. Likewise, Nifty also. Support area is where here. This is an ultimate support, but in between the support is last 2 days low. Thursday low, Wednesday low. Both were at 43,700. No, so what is happening here is we are creating a lower highs here and we are creating equal lows here. That means we are showing you a ascending triangle pattern, which is a consolidation pattern in terms of technical analysis. It's a consolidation pattern. Now the question is, if this breaks above, we will resume bullishness. Our daily chart bullishness will be intact. Now a small dip comes, that means we have an ultimate support here. That means you don't have to worry too much about downside for now. There might be small fall, but we have multiple supports sitting here. First support is here, which is 43,700, which is Thursday's low. If that probably cannot hold because of short-term weakness, we have one more level to think of. So 43,700 becomes the first support, then comes 43,500. So even if the small short-term weakness is there because of lower highs and hourly chart, I am not expecting market to go below 43,500 in one attempt. It will not go below 43,500 in one attempt. But at the same time, it's not going to break out 44,200 easily, right? Because there were multiple attempts to break 44,200, but failed. So now what I'm trying to tell you is, we will have slightly bearish view for short term, with 44,200 as a deciding factor. So now slightly short term, very short term, meaning when I say short term, 1 or 2 days, maybe 1 or 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours also. So short term bearishness intact. 44,200 is the deciding level for the same, right? Above 44,200, we will resume bullish view. As long as 44,200 is not taken out, then we'll have to play for this range, which is 44,000 to 43,500 is the range for Bank Nifty. Even on Friday, there were multiple attempts to break 44,500. Right? If you're following me on YouTube channel, I'm possibly helping you out, because I told you as long as 44,000 is intact, we will still hold on to our bearish view. And we are able to see that. The market has not bottomed out yet. On the short term, there is no bottom yet, because there are certain bottoming out signals that I look at. I still don't see such kind of bottoming out signal. That means even if there is some small up move, there will be struggle to break 44,000 and 44,200. That means there will be one more dip, most likely, because Dow Jones went up on Friday. SGX Nifty is showing a gap up. Even if there is a small gap up, there is most likely to be sold once, at least once. Then that sell-off, where does it land? That is the question that I have for the market. Is it going to be a lower low, or is it going to be equal low or a higher low? That is a question I need to answer on Monday. Because one first up move, small gap up might come. I'm not denying it. Maybe Nifty may show you a 30-40 point gap up on Monday. That will be sold. Now, when the selling happens, where that selling will stop? That decides whether I have to hold on to my bearish view or should I change my view to bullish to sideways. On the short term, long term is anyway still bullish for me. So we as a technical analyst, we have to follow what market is telling us. So right now, slightly bearish, a gap up will be sold is what market suggests or setup suggests. So we'll have to hold on to this view and change the view above 18,600 and 44,200. Do it make sense here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. I'll take quite a long time to give a view because if I ask my mentor a question about reading a chart, he used to take 45 minutes on one chart. Because sometimes whenever he speaks, there are a lot of things you will understand. So that's the reason I take quite a amount of time to explain a chart because I want to see what all angles I can look at. Otherwise, you will not be able to survive. So now having said this, we'll look at sector-wise. What sectors, which sector is good, which sector is bad. Nifty Pharma. Nifty Pharma was looking bearish. Now it has managed to slightly go up. Break this red line. That means couple of stocks definitely contributing to bullishness or maybe strength in Nifty Pharma. Let's look at once and for all what pharma stocks are telling us. Cipla, all-time high, right? Daily chart. This is Cipla Limited India. Yeah. Was there a sell-off on Cipla? Okay. Cipla actually looks good. The reason why I'm saying is, see, usually this long-term moving average usually acts as a resistance. So it took a resistance, came down. When it came down, it became a low, higher low. Second time it crossed. Third time it took support. Look at the transition. Look at the transition here. Pay slight attention to this. See, whenever the price is above this long-term moving average, it usually acts as support. It comes to that level, go up. See, it was not crossing here. It was not, price was not going below this one. Now what is happening here is, it went below. It is going above and below. And now finally it settled below and now it became a resistance. So the transition is like this. If the price is above, it comes to that, goes up, comes to that, goes up, and then slightly breaks, zigzag, and then finally settle below this. Here also, once it is below this, it will act as a resistance. How do we change it? Resistance, no resistance, and now support. This is a transition. So this has done a good transition. So basically what this means is any dip to these levels would be a buying opportunity for us. So 930, 940 is good. Am I going to buy it immediately? Not necessarily. We'll find out all the stocks and figure out which pharma stocks looks good to us. Biocon. But it is bullish, that is nonetheless. Biocon. Bullish, but slight correction is looking. Slight correction because I don't like this candle. I don't like the fact that it is not able to manage to break this. I don't like RSI struggling to cross 60. So let me find something else. Aro Pharma. Aro Pharma looks good. But we are late because this week it went up. I need a dip to buy because the farther away the price is from this long-term moving average, the riskier the asset gets. Risk reward runs out of favor. Right? Right now the price is quite far away. It is too far away from the mean price. It offers me a very poor risk reward. Though bullish, sometimes you have to say goodbye to the stock. Cipla is such counter. Sun Pharma. Sun Pharma. Again, there is no risk reward for me to enter. I think did we miss the bus? Kedila. Bad. Let me look at all pharma stocks in. Cipla, Arvindo, Alchem, Dr. Reddy, DVs, yeah. Dr. Reddy's. Not interesting. DVs. We are at resistance here right now. No immediate buy in any of these things. Lupin. Lupin was good, but now, as I said, too far away from this, and RSI sitting at 80, I'll give it a pass. Risk reward doesn't favor. Alchem Labs. Alchem Labs is not actually a pharma, it is healthcare. Avantis Pharma, Torrent Pharma. I think more or less the front line are not looking good. Torrent Pharma. Few are good, but we have missed the bus. See, we have missed the bus. Let it come back. So pharma looks decent, but there is no immediate trade in pharma for me. Nifty finance services, basically banks and other financial counters. How does it look? Fin service was bullish, now it is crashing, and the biggest contributor for Nifty fin service is basically HDFC Twins. Twins don't look good. We have to look at Bajaj Finance. Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv. We have missed the bus again on this. Finserv. Some dip I will expect. It is bullish, no doubt, but a dip looks better. HDFC Bank. Notice that anyway is not a bullish counter because Fin Nifty has come down. It was trading above this. That means this is not an outperforming sector as of now, because there is kind of a double top on the RS itself, relative strength itself, and then it broke this red line, which means it doesn't look good. So no matter what you look at, either you basically HDFC Twins, both don't look good. See, HDFC also doesn't look good. Twin. Bearish. So Fin Nifty doesn't look great on the upside.
So, but I mean, like Nifty and Fin Nifty is mostly correlated now. So if Nifty breaks 18,600, so we can expect even Fin Nifty to test its earlier, I mean, like last expiry's high or something. Is it possible?
Sorry.
No, sir. I mean, like Fin Nifty and Nifty, like they reside side by side. No, so if Nifty crosses 18,600, so we can expect Fin Nifty to go like probably towards its. I mean, the
No
previous.
doubt. No doubts. What I'm saying is the problem here is the HDFC Twins don't contribute right now.
Okay.
What is the probability of if 40-45% do not contribute?
Yes.
So what is the probability of Nifty? Nifty goes up maybe because of Reliance going up, or IT may contribute. How might contribute? Reliance might contribute. But for Fin Nifty to go up, HDFC should participate, right?
Yes.
You look at the contribution of individual stocks in Fin Nifty or Nifty or Bank Nifty.
Yes.
I'm sure HDFC Twins will contribute more than 30-35%. ICICI Bank, look at ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank will definitely contribute to Fin Nifty and Bank Nifty. This is stuck sideways with the divergences. We know what divergences mean. It says there is some lack of strength. It either needs a correction towards this and RSI 40, or it needs some sideways action. So ICICI Bank don't, HDFC Twins are not contributing. What will contribute? Bajaj Finserv, Bajaj Finance Services are hardly 4%, 4 to 8% contribution to Fin Nifty. That is also not there. So if you look at the Fin Nifty contribution, Fin Nifty weightage, top 23. So if you look at this, HDFC Bank alone contribute 21%. This is not bullish. HDFC 11%. So HDFC Twins alone contribute almost 32%. ICICI Bank divergence are seen. So this is not going to comfortably pull the market up. Now, which of these Bajaj Finance Services contribute 12% together? Bajaj Finance has already gone up and it is RSI is staying above 75-80. So again, any up move from here, Bajaj Finance is not comfortable because it has given a fantastic rally already. Axis Bank on the other hand looks good. Axis Bank shows up a positive reversal. This looks good. But even if it looks good, how far it can go? Somewhere to 928. This breakout, whatever we are expecting, right? This breakout is meaningful or stronger only and only if we get a correction.
Yes.
Right? Somebody has noise, please mute. Huh? See, with this setup, right, even if the market goes up, it may not sustain. Because see, a lot of big contributors like ICICI Bank, HDFC Twins, they don't contribute. Axis Bank is good, but Axis, the contribution is how much? 6%. These three are not contributing. SBI looks good. But do you think SBI can compensate for three banks not contributing? Not necessary. Kotak Bank. Kotak Bank. Let's look at Kotak Bank NSC. So Kotak Bank, no doubt it is bullish. The problem with this again is divergences. Right? We are at resistance and we are seeing divergences on the market like this. And this candle market gapping up above the resistance area and not sustaining, coming inside, this becomes a bull trap for us. We know this story. So Kotak Bank bull trap, IndusInd Bank. I think for me, if this rally has to sustain or if it has sustained above the all-time high, it's best that we see a correction.
Yes, sir.
Right. Look at IndusInd Bank at 70, 74. How long do you think it can pull? We know this story. The story is whenever RSI gets to 70, 75 levels. See this here. Look back in history. Arvind, you know the story. We have discussed at length in our mentor program. Look at this. Whenever RSI touches close to 70, 75, right?
Yes.
We are not comfortable there, right?
Yes, sir.
What happened to my RSI? What happened to my RSI? These days, these softwares are. It's there. I'm not able to see RSI. How is this possible? Right. So, sorry, we're looking at IndusInd Bank. So look at IndusInd Bank. IndusInd Bank RSI is close to 74, 75 with divergences on. Again, IndusInd Bank cannot contribute. Axis can contribute, SBI can contribute. Other three is not contributing. RSI is 70, 75. See, whenever RSI is above 70, 75, breakouts usually fail.
Yes.
Right? Any breakout, any all-time high breakout with RSI above 70, 75 levels, there are failures. We need some kind of a correction. So basically, most of it is not looking good to me. As in, it will stay bullish to sideways for a while. But again, for a healthy up, we need a correction. Right. So Bank Nifty cannot continue like this forever. That's why I'm a little cautious. That's the reason your short term, there are divergences here. This year, there are divergences. There are divergences here, which tells me this before breaking out and making a new high, it might come and test this 43, 42, 18 levels. This is my little longer term view because there is no strength in here.
Before it, it's like 45K.
Yeah,
basically.
before it touches 45K, we will definitely see 42, 43,000 first.
Yes.
That's my take. Otherwise, it doesn't sustain. There's no strength there. Because stocks do not contribute now. Just because I am rating puts on Bank Nifty doesn't mean that Bank Nifty will go up, because Bank Nifty is if you understand the dynamics of Bank Nifty, it can go up only if the stocks contribute.
Yes, sir.
Right. So that is the story on Bank Nifty for me, Nifty Bank. Fin Nifty also doesn't, because Fin Nifty and Bank Nifty are more or less brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Nothing much to worry about. How do you search Fin Nifty? Finance services, right? FinServ.
Nifty FinServ.
Yeah. Serious. Again, you have divergences here.
Yeah.
Divergences. More than the divergences. See, we have discussed this in our other studies. See, there is a positive reversal here in RSI. So for the positive reversal to work, it has to break this high, make a new high. You have divergences and you have positive reversals. This becomes a complex signal, right? When we discussed RSI. So we have a divergence suggesting that bulls are slowing down, losing strength. And this one suggests positive or bullishness in stack. So positive reversal is bullish, divergence speaks about lack of bulls strength. So basically both are there. That is why I'm saying sideways.
Yes.
Even in Fin Nifty also, as long as this stays here, I will still play for bullish to sideways view.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. One dip, I'll be more than comfortable to go and pull all the guns for the up. Right now, I'm very hesitant. So very cautiously, I'm taking longs. In fact, if you look at my position, I have slightly taken a bearish position and gone home on Friday on Fin Nifty. Why I did that? If you look at lower time frames, see the closing is very important. So now if you look at Fin Nifty on Friday, what happened? The problem is this. This is a support area. Market came to this support area. Buyers bought and pushed it to 19,400 or 500. Second time it came to the same level. Buyers bought, but this time they're unable to cross 19,400. Third time they're unable to even cross the previous high, 19,000. So every time market came to this support area, buyers are buying and letting the market go up. But every time they're buying, they are not able to make a new high. This is what is happening for me. So this becomes a descending triangle for us. And RSI is unable to get back above 60 or 45 of RSI itself. Price unable to get back above this long-term moving average. This shows slight weakness in this. So I have taken sideways view. I have not gone absolutely directional, but I have gone home with slightly bearish bias.
I took a strangle.
I also did a strangle. I have sold call and puts both, but little higher calls than puts. Okay. Little more quantity on calls than puts.
Yes.
Right. Because this might touch 19,100 once. So some sideways action, so that you compensate for the divergence in RSI and then give a breakout. That is what the story is on this. So within this sideways action, I am witnessing lower highs. That means this might touch 19,100 at least once before it challenges 19,600.
Yes,
This is what the setup looks like to me. Right?
yes.
You can see the setup anywhere, wherever you feel like. Whenever market goes into a consolidation like that, right? And within the consolidation, you start seeing lower highs. There is a most likelihood that is going to touch the lower level once. See this here, like something like this. I need this. See, this is a consolidation. This is a consolidation. Now within the consolidation, there is always a clue that it's going to break upward or downward. See, it is playing between these two areas. Now it touches the resistance area. Now it comes down. That means this sell-off was not strong enough to touch this lower end. That means buyers are able to stop this selling somewhere around here only. That means this is going to give a breakout. So within this consolidation, do I see a lower high or a lower low? Right? That is what more important for us. See, every time there is a breakout. So this was a consolidation, long consolidation. Analyze the consolidation. From here, sell off to this. From here, sell off to this. From here, only sell off to this. Fourth time, sell off only here. So within the consolidation, I start seeing higher lows. Recipe for a breakout.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now, if I go by the same thing, though I'm holding on to my bullish to sideways view, my concern is this. This is a consolidation, no doubts. This is a consolidation, no doubts. But within the consolidation, I don't want to see these. That means, though there is a gap up scenario on Monday, this gap may be in the first half, it will be sold and you will touch 19,300. Some consolidation between 11 to 12, maybe Monday or maybe Tuesday, good day for Nifty to break this support and test this. Because they want to trap on Tuesday. There are people like you and me who trade Nifty expiry.
Premiums are crazy stuff of Nifty. It's like so much, like when it spikes also.
Yeah. Nifty is one of the craziest animal that we have seen. Yeah. It's Nifty premiums at Bank Nifty volatility, basically.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Exactly. Basically, premiums are like Nifty. Movement is like Bank Nifty. Yeah, very much, yes. We look at autos, how autos are looking at. Is it worth looking at? So basically, do not be too strongly bullish because of divergences seen. So mildly take positions, be quick to exit. Auto looks good. I think even our first discussion on a weekly setup, our view was on buy list was predominantly on auto stocks. So Maruti, Escorts, Mahindra, these are stocks which we picked on the 20th May review. I think those stocks are still intact because this is still impact. So if you look at Mahindra that we picked on May 20th, still looking good, I guess. See this? This is where I picked up on May 20th on buy list. Because this was what? This was May 20th, somewhere around here. See, it's been going up from there. So 1,300 to 1,343, good move. So Mahindra still looks good. We had Maruti in our list on 20th. Maruti looks pretty decent. See this? May 20th, somewhere around here. Maruti was here around 9,000 levels and 9,400 levels now. So this was our list on Maruti, Escorts. Auto stocks are pretty decent. So anything if you want to bet on is definitely Escorts. See, Escorts we picked somewhere around here. We have managed to go up. So this list, see, I'm giving a very long-term picture because I'm reading the charts in the daily chart. So maybe 1 or 2 weeks it may not work out, but as long as the stop loss or the support level is held, the bullishness still stays there. So auto stocks are pretty good. Eicher Motors also divergences. Give it a pass, let it come down to this level, then we'll see. Escorts, Motherson. This looks decent. See, now read this in a different angle. I think this is going to stay above this level of 78, 79 levels, and then probably it will challenge 83, 84. Reason being is this is a resistance area, sell off. Now the same touch to 83, 84. Now this time the sell off is very, very small. So from our RSI concept, I still see a positive reversal there. So as long as the market stays above 77, Mahindra, sorry, M&M Motherson Sumi will go up. So I'll not immediately, but Motherson bullish as long as market sustains above 76. So 76 is the catch. So hold on to that 76. It will go up. Slowly it will go up. Any other auto stocks we are missing? Ashok. Yeah, we are at a very, very decent level. And this is a make or break for this. The reason is this is a resistance area. We have seen a substantial dip from there. Now we saw a 2-day sharp sell-off. Now after this sharp sell-off, I see a consolidation. Now what is the range here in this consolidation? 146. Now if this Ashok Leyland breaks 146, because last 6 days we are not going below 144 and not going above 146. So this 2 days bearishness has been stalled by sideways here. So 146 breaks, you will see the market testing 154 again. So 146 will remain the key. So Ashok, right? Ashok Leyland above 146, I expect 150 to be tested. Whole number tested. So basically, I am thinking that above 146, I will touch at least 150, if not anything more than that. Hero Motor Corp, Hero Motors. This is pretty good, but we have missed the bus. Give it a pass. Bajaj Auto. I like to pick anything which is in my risk reward ratio, which it is though bullish. Bullish doesn't mean that you buy wherever you want. There is a certain level where we buy. I don't think any of this is a buy right now because I am looking at divergences suggesting some correction in place. TVS Motor, this is pretty good, but again missed the bus. Any other auto stocks that I missed?
Tata, sir. Tata Motor.
Tata Motors. Divergences. I think we need a dip on. So be light on auto stocks because I see a lot of stocks already done a big great move and they're due for correction. So we'll only look at this because auto sector, though bullish, it's due for correction. So maybe it may take 1 or 2 weeks. So maybe somewhere mid of June, we might see some kind of a correction in these auto stocks, and then we'll have to wait for re-entry again. So basically, I will start tightening my stop loss on any stock or any exposure to auto stocks right now. So rather than being absolutely bullish or going very aggressive, I would say tighten stops because I see a lot of divergences, overextension. Look at the move, one side move. Can it go on like this forever? No. Some profit booking should come, and divergence suggests just that, some profit booking. So be careful. Though it is bullish, it is due for a correction sooner or later. Maybe in a couple of days, you will see some kind of a sideways or correction. One of those things will be seen. So tightening stop loss is always better if you have any exposure to auto sector. Bullish, but not in a place where I can probably be aggressive in that. FMCG, it is anyways good, but is it worth considering is a question. ITC is one stock where I repent a lot because of exiting very early. Because I had a bullish view on ITC. Aditya, when was that? I think 150, 160 levels.
That was long back.
Last
year, sir.
Last year, I think we had an entire half an hour, 45 minutes spent on ITC alone. Why it is bullish?
Yes, yeah.
Somewhere in
multi-year breakout actually.
Yeah, it was a multi-year breakout. So it was very, very, very good setup. Because setups were happening on a monthly chart. Monthly, the 384. You can't take any big exposure there. You have to pray for a correction. I exit early. ITC, Hindustan, Unilever. This is silent for a long time. When will this make a buzz? See this? For a very long time, it is sideways. Sooner or later, it's going to give a breakout. The reason why I'm saying is, it cannot go on like this forever. After a pause like this, the bigger the pause, the bigger the move after the market breaks out. So the pause here has been for a very long time in HUL. I think the pause is almost from a year, right from last year, August. We have not seen any contribution from HUL. The longer it stays in this loop, the bigger will be the breakout. So basically, and we see a pretty strong closing in the weekly setup and daily setup. Some consolidation here. There will be a correction here. I'll tell you the recipe for the breakout. Because of the RSI being at 70, 73 with small divergence seen here, right? There is likely to be a correction. And now if this correction, this was a resistance area. Now by chance, if market sustains above this resistance area, which is 2,680, or at least above 2,600 levels, somewhere the mid of this big green candle. So by chance, if the market sustains above this, right? Here is better. By chance, if it comes here, some consolidation, and then it will give a breakout. Because whenever you see a breakout, something like this, what has happened? Just check out closely, very closely. See this one. Like this. This was a consolidation for more than a year. Right? So what happened? Whenever it came to this area, sell off, sell off, sell off. Now it came to this area, came down, but this time it did not come to this lower level. It stayed here. Basically, some support was there because of some green candles are there. Stayed above this orange line, red line, then a breakout. So if there's a consolidation for a long time, and now from here, if the correction gets shallower and shallower, recipe for a breakout. Now what I need here is pretty much the same. We have been in a consolidation. One thing that I've seen here is this. See, it came to this resistance, dip. This dip support was at a previous resistance. So within this area, though it is part of this broader sideways game, we are still in a range, right? But within this range, I see higher highs and higher lows. Now, will it break out? Even if it breaks out, it will not sustain. Why I'm saying this is because by the time it breaks out somewhere here, RSI would be above 75, 80. So any breakout when RSI is in such overextension, it will not stay. It will come back. And if this comes back, if it settles here above this and above this, next breakout, it will fly. So be patient, watch very carefully HUL. Right? It is not immediate, right? It's getting ready for a breakout. Is it immediate? Not necessary. It may take maybe 1 or 2 weeks, right? Getting ready for a breakout. Staying above 2,600 is the key for this. This is what I need. If that is what it gives, it has been managing to hold on to this level for a very long time. This time, most likely, we're going to see a new high. That is what I see on that. Nestle. Looks, I think Nestle, we had it last week, right? Nestle, we had it last week, 21650. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, it has already given a up move. So Nestle, we already have it. Britannia. This is getting ready as I expected. Sir, keep an eye on these stocks. Do this. The sell-off from here is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Britannia is like HUL. These are getting ready. So if it's getting ready, then it should be ready with the stock. So nothing immediate, but these are all getting ready for a good move upside. Britannia, Nestle, HUL, Dabur, Marico. I think we looked at all these things. They're all looking good, doing good. It broke out, so we're looking good. So RSI is quite far away. Wait for dips towards 530. So that risk reward is in our favor. Looks good, but nothing immediate. Marico, yes. Look at this. I think I'd put Marico with yellow line last week. Above 550 because it was getting ready. Above 550 is what I told last week. Above 550. Where are we right now? Right? We are at that place. So I think FMCG, next couple of days or couple of weeks, you have to watch this. ITC game is overextended. So, but others like HUL, Britannia, FMCG, Dabur, Marico, which were struggling for a very, very long time, they are probably gaining some momentum now. Marico, Dabur, any other FMCG stock we missed? Nothing, right? More or less everything
Bata comes under what?
It is consumer durables, not FMCG. Bata looks good. Bata, there was a decent consolidation. Dips, Bata is bullish as long as it stays above 1,526. So Bata, not immediately, but Bata.
Colgate.
Yeah, I'll look at it. Bata. 1520 is the key. As long as it stays above 1520, we can still hold on to our bullish view. Colgate Palmolive. Colgate.
It's a low beta stock though.
All FMCG stocks are like that. So something is kicking in FMCG, sir. Something is kicking in FMCG. They're all.
Sir, then if I mean FMCG, pharma, these are defensive sectors, no, sir. If the money is getting diverted over there, don't you think like
We cannot take it very seriously, as in because there is not much of a weakness seen in Nifty or Bank Nifty also.
Okay.
It's way too early for me to call that.
Mhm.
I don't see that kind of problem right now.
Okay.
FMCG looks good. Keep an eye on FMCG because we don't want to repent missing the because it's all multi-month breakout. Look at the consolidation for the entire last 1.5 year. Colgate was not contributing. Now they are showing some signs. HUL is also showing some signs. So most of the FMCG stocks are showing some signs after a year or so. So it's going to be good. So FMCG is nothing immediate, but you should not miss that. Keep an eye on that. Imami, let's give it a pass on mid cap. Realty, I was very optimistic. Is optimism stays? Yes, because our first week of this review, I had picked up FMCG, Godrej Properties, Oberoi, all the cement stocks which are extended to Realty. I think they're still looking good. DLF, it is still flying. Godrej Properties. See this? The stocks that or the sector we looked at. 1260 is where I took an entry. Godrej Properties. Still looking good. 1260. Where is it now? 1420. I think something is good in Realty. Where Realty is also good. Ambuja Cement extended. Yeah, this is good. I think if you watch the first 20th weekly review, I was looking at buying Ambuja with a stop loss of 375. So 375 never touched. We are still going good. This is where we thought of considering a buy because I've explained a setup there very comfortably, very elaborately. I've discussed that why Ambuja is good. So that week stock are still looking good. Ultratech, Ramco, Grasim, all the FMCG and cement stocks. Yeah, it's good that we are here because it is a low risk entry because we see the market correction and now market starts going above 1720. This will again resume an up move from here. So this looks decent enough, Grasim. So basically Realty somehow looking good. Grasim, Ultratech, right? Yeah. See, all we were considering this 17.400 was a stop that I looked at. 17.400 was never touched. Still going good. Still good. Ultratech is still good. Ramco. Ramco, I had suggested an entry around 816. God knows, it is flying and flying. Now it is too late because of overextension on the upside. So, as I said, now see, the longer it stays in a consolidation, once it comes out, you will see a pretty decent moves in the market. So that is where FMCG is getting ready. So I think this list of what do you call this? Realty looks pretty decent. Look at McDowell's. Look at all those things. I think those were all breakouts after a very long time. They don't stop with one small move. See this. If you go back and look at, I had marked McDowell's I think I have even posted this back again on the same YouTube channel. Again, because that was, I think if you go back and look at it, I had stressed on M&M multiple times. Multiple times I stressed on M&M. Sorry, McDowell's. See this? Okay. As we would Mahindra and Mahindra, I was suggesting on M&M. Sorry, McDowell's. I specifically said McDowell's. I love this setup. So it may fly slowly, but whatever stocks I'm suggesting or whatever sector I'm looking at, because it is a multi-month breakouts. On this day, I was very happy to see this. I think from there, 870, we're sitting at 874. A good 8-9%. Now is it too late? Wait for it. McDowell's. These are all stocks, as I said, now they're all looking pretty decent. Because there were some breakouts. Some setups were coming in. Right. So realty looks good. So buy on dip still intact on realty for me. Right. So realty, right? Realty and auto, right? The entire sector, buy on dips is still intact. Cement, when I say realty, extend to cement also. So whatever we looked at on the relative strength basis, I think most of them have given a pretty decent moves. Metals. Metals, okay. Look at this metal sector. See, this is a consolidation, no doubt. But within the consolidation, I see a higher low. That means couple of stocks which are contributing for realty, like Tata Steel or something, they are also in consolidation, but they're getting ready for an up. That's what it means. See, consolidation, these dips are getting shallower and shallower. Is getting ready, not there yet, but very soon. Jindal Steel and Power. Give it a pass. JSW Steel. Look at this. This dip was small, shallow. Look at almost 10-15 days of consolidation. What if the market comes out of this consolidation? Pretty decent move. So above 710, I like JSW Steel. JSW Steel. Above 710, bullishness is back on this. 710, 715, give or take 0.5%, 1% there. Don't be too strict with 710. Give or take 0.5%. JSW Steel gets better. I think last week I had National Aluminium on radar. National Aluminium is also getting ready. This is pretty much getting ready because from here the sell-offs are getting shallower and shallower. Look at this breakout and standing here. National Aluminium. I think this is getting very interesting. Don't miss this. National Aluminium gets very, very interesting. The setup looks pretty good. So I think this might break out maybe today, tomorrow, this week. Most likely, the setup looks very interesting. Don't miss this. And I will hold on to my bullish view as long as it stays above 79 level. So the key is to stay above 79. If that is intact, I think we will see National Aluminium flying pretty soon. And it is coming out of consolidation after a very long time. So the move is not small. The move is pretty good. I'm not surprised if I see that National Aluminium, maybe this week it is showing 4-5% in one day. I'm not surprised about that. Right?
তোরা কই রে সবার মা ফোন করে আমি মিটিং ছেড়ে এসে গেছি
Right. National still looks good. Metal looks good. Getting set up. Anything which I missed? Sale.
Sale, Hindalco.
Look at this consolidation for a very long time and it's getting interesting and interesting. So metal sector, highlight metal sector like FMCG, triple star. They're all getting ready. The entire metal sector is getting ready. Don't be surprised to see some 4-5% move on one single day. So keep an eye on metal sector, keep an eye on FMCG. I think we have
Hindalco,
covered
sir.
Hindalco. What's up with Hindalco? Yes, sir. No doubts. I see a range shift also in RSI. Given the setup, RSI managed to break 60, the dip sustained above 40. For entire metal sector, I think this week the contribution is most likely from metal sector.
Okay.
Right? This week, the contribution to Nifty or market is most likely to going to come from metal sector. Do not miss metal sector. Right? This week belongs to metals. Maybe 1 or 2 weeks later, it belongs to FMCG. That is how the setup looks like to me. So given that, right? So we should always have a view how long this view is intact. Now for Hindalco, we have been struggling to go below this. So for me, this becomes a deciding factor. 399. Let's say 400 levels. As long as it says 400, you will see this testing, and then you will see this testing. Right? I like the other stocks better. National Aluminium looks very, very good. That's what I see. So metal sector looks pretty decent. It is getting ready, and it is getting ready after a couple of months of consolidation. So it's not going to be a small. That is what I see. IT. I think we discussed about Wipro a couple of weeks back, if you remember, 2-3 weeks back. So the first stock or the one stock which I had kept here was Wipro. 390 and above was my levels to watch on the entry side with a stop below 375. I hope it has contributed. It gave a good move. It was above 400. Yeah. So hopeful to see above 300. Now it is sitting at 404. It almost touched 410. So this also worked for us. Wipro. Now it will take a pause because we are at a resistance area. So that is also still good, but other IT stocks don't look great. So Wipro is the only one, but unfortunately it is at resistance. So now I cannot further proceed on Wipro. So we will take a pause on IT. We'll move to something else because in the starting only we looked at all the IT stocks. Nifty, Bank, mid cap, Pharma. We looked at oil and gas was actually bearish. Why I say this is because when I looked at breadth analysis, most of the stocks which were bearish were actually from oil and gas. So oil and gas don't look good anyways. Don't need to look at. GAIL, see this consolidation and no signs. ONGC. So you look at the correction. RSI is below 40. So basically it doesn't look good. So basically oil and gas don't look good. What about Reliance, big daddy of Indian markets? As long as it stays about 2,420, it's still okay. Nothing great. So oil and gas, give it a pass. There is nothing much to look at oil and gas sector as such. Private bank, we looked at, nothing great. Realty, we looked at, nothing great. So most of the stocks we looked at, nothing great. One last thing I look at is any big moves in terms of volumes. Adani Enterprise, I'll give it a pass. PFC, Biocon, we looked at it. Hindalco, some volume spike happened. So metal sector, we were looking at, and Hindalco, there is some volume spikes happening. Biocon, we looked at Pharma. 202 PFC, what's happening with power sector? PFC, Power Finance Corp. Already breakout has happened. I think now we have missed the bus. So if PFC is doing this, then REC might do something like that. REC Limited. Oh, it's already done. I think we missed it. TVS Infi Container Corp, DLF, National Aluminium. National Aluminium, again on Friday, there was some volume spikes. PVR, what's happening? PVR is actually negative. Yeah, nothing to worry about PVR. So I think more or less, this is the conclusion. I will be watching FMCG. Rename this. I'll be watching very closely these stocks. Maybe metal sector, I'll close very closely with metal sector, especially National Aluminium and a couple of other stocks which I discussed. HUL and Britannia FMCG, entire FMCG pack is getting ready. Maybe a week or two from here, we might see some pretty good moves in FMCG sector. Metal sector, maybe it's in a hurry. Metal sector is in a hurry, so don't lose the watch on metal sector. Nifty, Bank Nifty, pretty much I said long-term bullish, short-term sideways to bearish. So we will wait for clarity. Clear? Done?
PI Industries.
Sorry?
PI Industries, sir.
PI Industries.
Yes, sir.
PI, I can't take any trade right now because for me it is still in a consolidation. It needs to sustain above these levels for the bullishness to stay intact. So nothing immediate to me. Let it wear out this, or maybe Monday I have to decide. Looks bullish only, getting ready also, but immediately no. Nothing immediate. Bullish, getting set, but not yet. That means it needs a watch, close watch. Anything else?
Yeah. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. I think I've covered most of it. Most of the large cap. L&T. L&T, I don't like this gap down. Yeah, it might give an up move till here. Slight up move is possible in L&T. But I think we have better sectors and stocks to watch than L&T. Anything else?
So Titan.
Titan. Having missed the bus. As of now, I think we need to wait for correction because risk reward is not very favorable to me. Bullish, but immediate, I cannot take anything. I have to wait for a dip to take any call on it. Asian Paints. I have explained Asian Paints something because I have explained it on this chart. That means I had a view some time back. Anyways, we have to wait for a dip here. Done. So can we wind up for the day?
Bharat, can I just show which are the indicators you are using? How to set that?
It's not about setting the indicators. The problem is how to use it is the question. It's basically simple indicators. Here I'm using moving averages. For a long term, I use 45 or 50. Anything can be used. Short term, I use 9 or 10. So you can basically think at 10 and 50 or 9 and 45, whatever you wish to. Here is a simple RSI, and I put moving average in RSI again. But the question is not about the indicators. Do you know the indicators well enough to use? That is all. So basically, I have RSI, nothing else. Moving averages, let's say 1050 or 945, whichever is convenient. RSI and RSI also have used moving averages. Same moving averages. Whatever you use moving average on price, you use the same thing on RSI also. Same thing. Keep it same. So I don't do much bombarding on indicators. Let me quickly take a look at what is happening in options data for Nifty and Bank Nifty. And then we will close for the day. So what happened on Friday? There was a substantial amount of rating on the call side. So major call rating that I see, or the bearish OI I see, is on the call side, because we have 1.5 CR rating on the bearishness and about 1.3 CR rating on bullishness. So basically the rating is in favor of bears. Plus, where is the substantial amount of rating that was seen on Friday was here on the call side, which is 18,600. So 18,600, as long as the market sustains below 18,600, we still have to hold on to short-term sideways to bearish view. So even data suggests the same thing. Now, where is the highest open interest? On Thursday, it was 19,500. That is shifted to 18,600 with 1 CR open interest at 18,600. So this is a resistance again. So highest call open interest for this weekly expiry is sitting at 18,600 right now. Highest OI bullish is sitting at 18,500. I think this is a very, very small range, right? With almost equal open interest. So it cannot stay on within this range for entire expiry. So it might give upside or downside, breakout or breakdown, right? So this is a very tight range to look at to believe this. One of them is right, one of them is wrong. One of them is right. Either 600 is, call it as a right about market not breaking 600 for this expiry, or put it as sitting at 18,500 and trying to defend 18,500 is, they are right. One of them is right, one of them is wrong, which we have to find out. Most likely 500 is wrong, we will see, because short-term bearishness, long-term bullishness. But for short-term, I will consider lower time frames, which is suggesting slightly bearish move only as of now. Right. So option data also same thing. Bank Nifty option data. See, highest open interest. Bank Nifty was 44,000. Call side, it is still at 44,000. And if you see open interest, on Thursday it was 44 lakhs. Now it is 52 lakhs. That means there is a 7 lakhs addition to 44,000 call raters. That means they are strong. Put raters is also 44,000. 32 become 36. So basically they are rating a straddle. They are rating a 44,000 straddle. So highest open interest built up 44,000, equal amount 1.14 lakhs, 13 lakhs. So nothing substantially here and there. Rating on put side is also decent. Rating on call side is also decent. See this? Almost equal. 47 lakhs rating on the call side on Friday, 45 lakhs on call side, 44 lakhs on put side. So basically the OI data suggests sideways. Technical suggests sideways to slightly bearish. So I think holding on to sideways to slightly bearish view is going to work out. So we'll have to see what is going to happen on Monday or Tuesday. Right? The data gets matured on Monday. Tuesday is fantastic. So that will set a tune for Wednesday and Thursday expiry. Right. So nothing alarmingly directional view I can take on data, because almost equal rating on Bank Nifty. Nifty slightly bearish rating. So we'll see 600. Anyways, we know the level 600 and 400 on Bank Nifty, 44 to 43,500. Above 44,200 is where we'll start again taking a bullish stand on Bank Nifty. So the levels are clear. So we'll wait for the levels to take out. Till then, we'll play sideways. Right? All right, then I think we'll take a break for the day and then we'll meet next Saturday. This is helping, right? Whatever views we are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Right. All right, then we will meet next week. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.